everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I am joined by Jamie Lewis and his lovely wife Tara. Might be chatting in the background
She's
since
over there.
the other guys are late.
Yes.
Indisposed.
Indisposed. All right, so let's get this started, Jamie. We were going to talk about obesity and the mental illness around that in strength sports.
Yeah.
And then maybe talk
This
about how
fucking camera's
CrossFit shits all over strength sports these days.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so
I'm gonna yell at the mic. This fucking camera is just chasing me around. Anyway, go ahead.
Just be chill about it, man. It's good. Just you got to find your state of zen, Jamie. I can't even talk. Just be chill. It'll be good, man. So yeah, we're seeing absurdity with this stuff of these guys coming in now who are just getting ridiculously morbidly obese purely for the sake of lifting big numbers. And it's just absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, it's really nothing new. It's happened since. I mean, Paul Anderson was a big fat fuck.
Yeah.
Vasily Alexiev was a big fat fuck. Like a lot of these guys are big fat fucks, and it goes back to like the Germans and the Austrians were so fat they couldn't do cleans, so they did continentals.
Right. I mean, and I guess we should expect to see that in America today when we have an obesity epidemic.
I've always railed against that shit. I mean, I always hated Goggins because he's out there. People would be like, oh, he squats 1,000 pounds. And I'm like, who the fuck cares? He's got cellulite on his fucking face. Yeah. Like, it's disgusting to look at him. He doesn't even look like he fucking lifts.
Yeah, well, I think that's Jeff Lewis.
And actually. I hate that shit.
Yeah, well, and I mean, that raises an important point of when we're going to talk about lifting culture, it should be a balance of all these things. We should be strong. We should probably look good. We should probably have some conditioning. We should probably have some agility and mobility. It's about being well-rounded.
Yeah.
Wait, oh my God, did you just like almost verbatim, like the first day I walks into a CrossFit box?
Oh,
there you go.
Frickin'
can you pass me that joint so this fucking
10 years ago or so? No. Yeah, probably over 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Possibly almost 20 years ago. Like, way back when, like, that's exactly what they sell everybody on. And
but it's not a bad selling point.
No, and like, quite frankly, I can tell you, CrossFitters, fuck. There is no worrying about getting laid.
At the CrossFit Games, they are fucking. It's not like at a powerlifting meet. I mean, like I used to try to get people to go to party after powerlifting meets. They'd be like, I'm going to go home and go to sleep. And it's like, you just did 9 lifts. That's it. You did 9 lifts in 12 hours and you're going to go home and go to fucking sleep?
CrossFit CrossFit competitions, like, it's an all-day thing. And you're lifting every fucking hour on the hour, basically.
Right.
Like, for 8 hours.
But they're fit, so that's why. I mean, at a powerlifting meet, if they're not fit, they're winded after 9 reps.
Yeah.
You need to go lay down.
How is there any glory in getting this record if you can't fucking bend over to tie your own goddamn shoes?
And a valid point. Exactly. The stuff we've been talking about in the other podcasts. I mean, when we're losing our mobility and we're just beat the hell up, that's a problem. Mine's finally getting better because I've been actively working at it.
No. Yeah. This isn't losing mobility. Like, this guy bulked up to how large?
He was fucking hot. He was hot to start out.
Yeah,
he was fucking. Where's your phone? There's your phone. What's the guy's name again?
Andrew Richards.
Andrew Richards.
So he went from being, a guy with a good physique, abs, probably 18-inch arms, abs, to where he's at now, all chasing a 500 strict press.
So he went to, he was like, I don't know, 180 pounds and looked like fucking Superman with a beard.
Yeah, and physique.
Like super hot. And then went up to 200 pounds, looked great. And then now he's 400 fucking pounds. He's a disgusting pile of fat shit. Like, he's just a big, hairy pile of fucking fat shit. And he just waddles around and fucking... He can overhead press twice his body weight.
I've seen him. He did like 525.
He can't even overhead press his body weight.
Yeah.
Can he?
Well, he's over his body weight. He's in the 500s now.
Okay, but who gives a fuck?
But he's still doing
1.25% of his body weight or whatever.
Fucking powerlifters are so goddamn angry.
Yeah, they can't see their dicks
because they're so fat that they don't have enough dick left to fuck.
Well, and as I was telling you, there were those
Christ.
powerlifters from North Georgia Barbell who were living in a storage unit.
Wow.
Chasing their dream of setting world records. They were living in a storage unit, these two humongous fat people, and they had a makeshift shower inside of this storage unit. And we're talking about 250, 300-pound people trying to move around in this makeshift.
This is not. That's not even my point.
They were gross.
This isn't even fat shaming. This is
No. It's a mental illness.
They lived in Georgia in a fucking storage unit.
Hold on. Like, this has nothing to do with that.
They had no bathroom.
This has everything to do with if you add a significant amount of fat in a short time, you're like you're shoving a cork in your arteries.
Mm-hmm.
You're making your heart work harder because then you end up having to grow extra capillaries.
How old is this dude?
I don't know. He's got to be in his 30s.
He went from looking like he was the hottest 23-year-old you ever saw to the most fat and disgusting 400-pound 50-year-old man.
Approve this?
He's not a doctor. Hasn't approved this.
No, a doctor hasn't. I mean, the guy's just doing it, chasing an uncontested lift, just to do it. He doesn't even compete in anything. And it's just
he's going to be dead by 40, like all these other fuckers.
Yeah, all these other guys. I mean, which we've seen. I mean, my God. I mean, they're all dying now.
Yeah.
I think that there is a very significant wider conversation that has to be had in the powerlifting world.
Or in the strength world in general. Yeah. Well, it's a mental illness.
Dysmorphia.
Yeah.
And eating disorders.
And that really is what it is. It is unchecked mental illness.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really, really hate themselves.
Yeah, you would have to.
No.
This guy hates himself, and it shows.
No, you can't make sweeping generalizations.
Well, I'm gonna
that because
how else do you go from
and that's
the
why
most fuckable
you get the
person
sweeping generalization that you're an asshole.
I am an asshole. Well, I'm also an extremely nice guy. You know what? And I'm also really humble. Let me tell you some really, really great things about me. Humility is number one with me. All right. And it's not that I strive to be the most humble. I just am because it's just because I'm the best, I guess. I mean, I say that with the utmost humility, but in any event, what were you saying? Can we stop talking about this disgusting fat wreck of a human being? Let's talk about that Russian fat wreck of a human being. So this guy is another. So the other guy at least does a lift, right? He does a real lift. So there's this other guy who's a little bit fatter. He's 450 pounds, this guy.
Yeah.
And somewhat hairier. He has quite a pelt on his shoulders. And so he's always shirtless. And the only place he doesn't have hair on his body is the top of his head. Literally the only spot on his whole fucking body. This man's a bear. And he's 450 fucking pounds. And here's what he does. He holds weight in his big, chubby little baby arms, in the crooks of his arms like that. And then he does this thing. Look at, he bounces weights on his belly like this.
Yeah, he does a bunch of little weird partials. Like he does little partial Zercher squats.
And I think he yells a lot too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he yells and screams a lot. Yeah. He does some weird partials.
Yeah, so he'll get under 1,000 pounds and be like, his guts bouncing up and down.
Mercilessly.
On top of his belt.
Because at least CrossFit helped people fucking get fit and hot and possibly deal with mental illness.
The world's fattest fucking turkey.
No, I agree with her on CrossFit. I mean, I agree with her.
Hopefully one day he steps out into traffic in front of some fucking semi or something. Because if he steps out in front of a normal car, he's going to destroy that car and kill everybody inside. And they're Russians, so who knows if they're...
Actually, he's Greek. That guy's Greek.
Is he Greek? I thought he was Russian.
He is Greek. No. He's a Kyrgios Grizzly guy.
He's in Greece. Horror. But yeah, Greek makes more sense. Yeah. He is a horror. And yeah, so they have the same vibe, that Baroque, disgusting, gilded, ostentatious bullshit in the background while they're committing atrocities in the foreground.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that guy does all sorts of just weird partial lifts. Like, it's not just the shrugging. He does like the little half Zercher lifts, and he does a bunch of just goofball partials and does a lot of bouncing.
Part of an ancient culture that for men, by men, so that they can fuck men who are smaller than them. So, yeah, and it shows, because that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like he's a giant bear man who wants to rape littler bear men.
Right. Well, at least,
and he's really good at holding close, and so he can't get away.
Well, at least something.
He just grabs a hold of that back fur and holds on for dear life.
Yeah, Jamie, you did help.
Going to end up with so much fucking hate from them.
Oh my God, they're like he must be involved in something like those guys who were injecting all that. They were like the bear and his cubs, and they were all bodybuilders, and they have the big swollen nut sacks because they were injecting all the saline into them.
Oh, I've heard of people doing that. That's crazy. Oh,
yeah. Big, huge ball sacks, because that's what they like. Yeah. That's what this man looks like he's into.
But CrossFit gets lumped with vegans.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? I'd much rather hang with vegans than these fucking people. I'll tell you.
I've never heard CrossFit get lumped with vegan. I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people who have a growing positive stance on CrossFit.
They shouldn't have any stance other than, holy shit, those people are fucking superheroes.
Yeah.
I mean, although those people are fucking
are legit.
broken busted compared to that dude down in Australia. Woo, my God. I still, I can't even think of his name off the top of my head now. The guy who wore the weighted vest, ran a marathon. You remember that guy?
Yeah. That
guy is monstrous. That he can fucking go. I'm just holding that like I'm going to light it, and I'm so fucking high, I keep forgetting. Just holding it like this. Like a fucking weirdo. Hi.
Yeah, but back over to that point, Jamie, whether you realize it or not, you had a positive impact on powerlifters. Actually, so a lot of them getting leaner, like you personally did.
Oh, did I?
When you came in and did what you did, a lot of people. I made some videos way back then saying I think he's kind of setting a little bit of a trend. There were a lot of powerlifters who were starting up who did say, well, if this guy can be shredded and come in and do this lean, then why can't more of us come in and just be shredded and be lean and lift some heavy weight? Well, actually, probably in a better weight class. Because if you're not carrying 40 pounds of extra fat, you're going to go down 2 weight classes.
Yeah, and it was just because, and this was a problem that CrossFit had initially, because a lot of CrossFitters weren't actual athletes. They were just like people who wanted to get fit. Yeah. So they got as fit as like a person who's never played a real sport could get. But when you've wrestled, your level of fitness is so fucking high. Like I PT'd Navy SEALs into the ground back in the day because they just couldn't hang with 2 fucking college wrestlers because we just went hard all the time. And
so we're going on vacation next week.
But anyway, hang on 1 sec. So where the hell was I going with this? Oh, but so you need people who are coming in from the outside to a sport that isn't really a sport to show them what an actual athlete would do to prep for, you know what I mean? That's why I came in and I was like, why is everybody so fucking fat? Because we always used to make fun of powerlifters back in the day because they were just these fucking fat people who were like, oh, I can do this little bullshit move. And we were like, who cares? And also, nobody wants to fuck you ever. And that's the point of lifting weights at the end of the day is to get people.
We all want to be sexy. We want to be sexy.
Yeah.
That's why most people go to the gym, at least start. The overwhelming majority of people go to a gym and start out because they want to look better naked.
Yeah. And in a t-shirt. As a guy growing up in the 90s, we were just Arnold, Sly, Van Damme, everybody with biceps. And so the people respect biceps, and we were just into it. We're here for it. We're going to do curls every fucking day. That's what we're about.
Right.
And then y'all came up and you read that starting strength bullshit, and everybody was like, "Oh, curls are stupid." And I was
and that was
laughing at everybody like.
Well, that was the funniest thing when I first started doing YouTube. I had 25 followers, and I made a video saying, "Hey, we can squat, deadlift, and do curls all in the same workout." Well, that's what kind of originally put me on the map, and it got published. Like my workout got published. I just did a little simple 5x5, but I'm like, "Hey, let's add some arm work and some hamstring work, and And because these are incomplete, these 5x5 barbell programs, they need some other stuff in there, even for beginners." So I threw some curls and some tricep extensions and some hyper extensions and things in. And then a lot of people went with it, like tens of thousands of people ran it. But I was kind of saying, hey, you can deadlift and do curls. You don't have, it's not an either or. You don't have to go, I just want to be strong, or, I want some biceps. You can do both. I mean, people have done it for generations. But we've seen a divergent culture form.
There are other ways to get biceps that are far more interesting and far more fun.
Yeah, and we forgot about all of them. Like doing fucking any ring work at all. Oh my God. We have a yoga swing in our house. And I'm on that. She bought it. She put it up because she's the handy woman of the house. Right. I'm not with that shit. I'm dangerous with power tools.
Literally,
I have no patience.
Not allowed in the basement, anywhere near my tools.
No patience. Wow, okay. I got no time for it. I'm not into it.
He ordered this desk on Amazon, and I don't know why he thought it was going to come like easy to assemble. But he opened the box, and we'd had the box for like 6 months.
Yep.
We've just been too lazy to put it together. And he comes stomping downstairs and is like, just fucking return the stupid thing. And I'm like, well, first of all, we can't return it. But second of all, let me take a look. Right. And I think I put it together in 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's not my thing.
It's totally not. But, in the vein of like, there are so many more interesting ways than just in a rack or like at a free weight machine to like gain muscle. And I feel like that's just completely freaking lost.
That's why I always push pull-ups. I think pull-ups and probably muscle-ups, but I still don't have I might have the wrist flexibility now, but I can't. I don't have the room to do it. I don't have the room to. Yeah, no, I don't have the room to do a muscle-up in my house, and quite honestly, I'm afraid to fail in front of other people. So I'm kind of at an impasse of like, I have to get to the gym at like 5 a.m. one day and do a muscle up and be like, all right, cool, I got it. And then, then I can do it during the day. But I need to get that.
We could just go to like a fucking ninja gym.
There you go.
Because there's like 4 around us.
True.
And like ninjas become like what CrossFit used to be.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Those people are just fucking superhuman.
Yeah,
right.
Yo, you see that kid?
The CrossFit games are ridiculous though in general. Like the athletes are just crazy impressive.
Oh,
and they're all
my God.
Like, the women are ridiculous.
No. You want crazy. Why don't you watch some of the teenagers?
Yeah.
Whoop the shit out of like
everybody
long time American Ninja Warrior athletes. Like they were born doing it.
Did you watch do you watch Ninja Warrior?
No, you told me I need to though, so I need to check it out.
So this past
amazing.
This past season, this 16-year-old kid with cerebral palsy, Vance Walker, he's 16, I think he's got 16.5-inch biceps. He trashed everybody.
I didn't know he had cerebral palsy. Yeah, you showed me him and I checked his page out. I didn't know he
which he beat with doing pull-ups. Like Magic Johnson beat AIDS with lifting weights and taking steroids. Fucking Vance Walker beat cerebral palsy with pull-ups. And one Ninja Warrior. He beat Steffi Graf, who's like the best stunt woman in all of Hollywood. Like he beat every best, like all of the best athletes.
And like literally the kid makes it look effortless.
It was embarrassing. He is like Arnold was not better than the rest of bodybuilding in the way that this kid is better than everybody else at Ninja Warrior. It's like,
yeah, you linked me and I watched him do a weighted pull-up. I'm like, man, this kid is strong. I had no clue he had any sort of medical condition at all.
terrible.
Like, I didn't even know that. I was just thought, when you sent me the link, I'm like, holy shit, this kid is strong as hell on pull-ups. I mean, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, but we learned watching. So there's a stand-up comedian who has cerebral palsy. Oh, there's two. One is Josh Blue, and there are different levels of cerebral palsy, which we learned from this guy's stand-up. So there is one, which I assume would be Vance Walker, which is you have it, but it's not really noticeable. Then there's two where it's like noticeable, but you're still functional. Three is like you're in a wheelchair and fucked up, this one guy who's a comedian. Two is Josh Blue, who's he's got broccoli on his shirt, like a big like cartoon broccoli, because he enjoys broccoli, as in the Urban Dictionary version of broccoli, if you would. So
which I don't know. I'll have to look that up.
Oh, which you don't know. The Urban Dictionary version of broccoli.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So, but that's his thing. So it helps with his CP. Okay. Yeah.
Well, if it helps with CP, then more power to him, you know?
Yeah.
I've got one of my followers sends me his stuff regularly, like on Instagram. He's got cerebral palsy, and he shows me, hey, this is what I can do. And he's in his wheelchair and he's lifting, and he has to do a lot of stuff on the Smith machine and everything. But he's over there training, and he sends me the footage, and I love it because I'm like, he's over here. He's like, I can't walk, but I can at least do this, and he even does some leg stuff.
Stones and shit, because that's inside of their fucking range of motion.
Yeah. But he gets under there and does overhead pressing and stuff in the Smith machine and stuff with his cerebral palsy in his wheelchair, rolls it up, and he's actually doing dips now. So he can do dips and stuff, you know, and it's just cool as hell. It's like I always stood a little love on there when he sends, because he sends me his stuff all the time, just as a follower and a fan, and it's like I love it because, you know, he's in here doing that. And
and it's and
it's day in and day out, and he's killing it, and it's just cool as fuck.
Yeah, and it's that positive mental attitude, which we love on Ninja Warrior too. Like everybody on that show is so fucking posy, and that's something about CrossFit too. Posy, and then you get to powerlifting, and everybody's like depressed, and it's fucking black metal.
I'm gonna throw back to Kevin Ogar.
I don't know. Oh,
this was like absolutely trash.
Oh, Kevin Ogar was the guy who broke his neck doing the snatch.
Yeah, he had a pre-existing unknown stress fracture.
Have you ever seen that video?
In his back.
No.
Oh.
And he was
Snatch City.
Yeah, he was practicing a snatch, and it put too much stress on the stress fracture in his spine, and it paralyzed him.
Wow.
His neck broke at the top of a snatch or some shit.
It's not
that one.
It was mid-back.
All right. But anyway, it broke when he was holding the snatch overhead.
But
it was gross to watch.
But
where did the bar hit him? In the neck, right? I think so.
I don't remember.
It was fucking.
I honestly.
And then he just smashed him into the ground. It was fucking horrible.
In all honesty, I really didn't watch that video because that could have been me or any of my friends.
I mean, I didn't know what the fuck I was watching at first because people used to just send me shit. That's how I saw that fucking the hammer killers in Russia.
What they didn't show was
you can't unsee
a year later, he's doing ring muscle ups in a wheelchair.
Wow.
With the wheelchair strapped to his body.
Right.
He's doing motherfucking ring muscle ups like a boss.
Yeah, that's fucking beast.
This motherfucker still had a 6-pack and was still more fuckable than 85% of the motherfuckers that I have seen take powerlifting too seriously.
And plus, you want to have sit down and have a fucking meal with them too, unlike powerlifters. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. And drinking with fucking powerlifters is miserable, but if you drink with fucking CrossFitters, somebody's getting a black eye and everybody's getting a damn good story. We had our CrossFit Christmas party. One of the girls left with not only a full-blown Z black eye, but a gash under her eye on Christmas Eve as she's meeting her boyfriend's parents for the first time.
Oh, nice.
Because we were all drunk doing wall handstands in the bathroom. Like, that's how CrossFit parties go, though.
But that's the thing. I've heard what you're talking about. Everyone I know who does CrossFit always says, like, everyone is so supportive and positive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not doing any of that form Nazi shit, just like trying to get everybody going.
Yeah. And like, that's like, I guess my position's pretty well known that I'm not anti powerlifting, but like, I'm so team. There are so many better things to do.
Yeah.
I can say, having broken a record in it, it's fucking stupid.
It seems boring and it doesn't seem fun. At least like at a CrossFit, like the Festivus Games are a fucking blast. And like everybody's just barely sober enough to do the workouts. Like
a lot of that though is
drunk.
Yeah, a lot of that is American
powerlifting because they're on too many drugs.
Like it is a little different overseas because I did it over there and was an official for the WBC. I was in the UK and it was a little bit different. The powerlifting culture is a little different over there.
Nazis. So
no, I was in the untested.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So WPC, but the culture's a little different there. It's not quite like what you're thinking of with the American powerlifting, but it does have its set of issues. You still have some holdover of the really fat people in trying to do multiply, and I think that's one of the reasons that the whole powerlifting thing went so fat is that they get extra squish in those suits out of all that fat.
Oh my God, are you fucking joking me? They're like, they really are Spanx.
Yeah.
What a disgrace.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
What a disgraceful, fucking, pathetic fucking thing. Oh my God, they're in bulletproof Spanx. They should fucking, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, the equivalent should
you are not going to be making
stop. No, I'm not. Fuck them. I trashed everybody in that sport to show everybody how fucking easy it was. You don't even have to train in the sport to be good at it. It's a fucking joke. But anyway.
You really don't. They're low skill lifts.
Yeah. They do the CrossFit total and end up with a better total. But when powerlifting first started out, it was like a lot of the odd lifts would happen in concert with bodybuilding. And they had on the East Coast and on the West Coast a meet called the Ironman. And I only found records for the West Coast one. But it was like you would bench and then I think maybe deadlift you did the curl. So because it was in most powerlifting meets at that point, it was bench, squat, and either curl or deadlift. And so in this, it was bench, curl, and then you had a pose down to determine who was like the Ironman winner. And there were some really cool people who won that thing back in the day. One was Bert Elliott, who was this like he looked like an old-timey circus strongman, complete with like the mustache and shit. Yeah. He shaved his head. Yeah. And there was, I think Jack LaLanne didn't win it, but there were some really like cool early lifters who won it. And they did the same thing on the East Coast. And that is much more, it's fun because it's down the beach. Like, it's outside. People want to watch that. They don't give a fuck what these fat people are doing with a bunch of death metal blasting in the background. But if you do it outside where people like want to watch it and you have it with hot people who will watch it and like CrossFit, play music people actually want to listen to. And I say that.
Or Jesus Christ, even strongman.
Yeah. No.
Like, before I even was.
You haven't watched any new strongman. It's lame.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gotten ridiculous to where
lifters
they're all wrapped up like
fun
mummies.
Out of a wet dream. It is astonishing how lifters can suck the fun out of shit.
Because like.
Yeah, there's no fun in strongman. It's illegal.
Like, I used to fucking come home from Amazon when I was on it. Like, I was done adulting. So I just went to work for Amazon. and fucking loved it, actually. But I'd come home and watch strongman, like the old, like,
World's Strongest Man
early
years ago.
2000 strongman.
No.
Like, up to, like, I don't know.
They don't even
like
recognize Mariusz Pudzianowski as a legitimate strongest, like world's strongest man, because he did endurance strongman and burka. There was a fucking
bunch of people that are butthurt that they also can't fucking run a mile.
That's exactly what it is. I was just gonna say,
current strongmen,
somebody needs to fucking call CrossFit HQ and have Pooj put into the fucking CrossFit
Hall of Fame.
The CrossFit fucking Hall of Fame, because if fucking strongman won't do it, fucking Pooj is fucking, as I recall, still pretty fucking hot.
Oh yeah, he's jacked. He's jacked.
Wait,
yeah, well, Strongman became equipped lifting 2.0 now. So they're all wrapped up like mummies. They're all in squat suits, deadlift suits. Everything is straps, wraps on every single joint, multiply suits. So it's powerlifting 2.0. I don't know. I think it's ridiculous.
It started.
I don't even like to do that.
How is that a show of strength?
It wasn't. That's why I always made fun of him, because this is why I never compete. I mean, I competed in a couple of strongman things. But hang on.
I don't want your opinion.
No,
I want Jason's opinion. Explain to me, like, where I have run obstacle course races for years. Like, I did CrossFit competitions.
Right.
Like, how in God's name did powerlifting and shit like that lose so much self-respect?
Yeah. And that's a great question.
They are allowing this to be considered actual lifting.
And it's insane. They might as well, at that point, once they're wrapped up like this, like mummies and all these crazy suits, they might as well just bring a forklift in to lift the weight for them.
Yeah.
I saw one of the earliest people to do this was Jimmy Dart in the early 2000s. He trained at Iron Sport Gym, and I always used to laugh at him because he I first noticed that he would wear 3 belts. He wore a neoprene waist thing, and then a soft belt, and then a hard like cinch belt on top of that, and which I found insane. And then I discovered that he didn't just wrap his wrists and his ankles. He duct taped them under tape and then put wraps on top of it. It was the craziest fucking thing I ever saw in my entire life. And so I'd be in there with no belt.
Why didn't he just do the pro wrestler thing and just use fucking electrical tape? At least it's stretchy and then compresses.
It was the funniest, but he ended up winning nationals one year. We sponsored him from Chaos and Pain. I thought it was the funniest fucking thing because this guy was the biggest goof. He's a super nice guy. Jimmy Dart's a sweetheart, and I'm not saying he isn't, or he isn't a great lifter. But like with the shit, I'm sure you can admit now, it was fucking ridiculous. And like duct tape, come the fuck on. What are you doing? It was idiotic then, and especially since like. I weighed 170 pounds and was barely on any gear at the time. And like I was out lifting them on half the shit.
It was weird in CrossFit when belts started to come in for squats.
Right.
Like when I started, you would not see a belt. And like these motherfuckers are dropping like, I mean, I used to regularly watch a female friend of mine drop ass to grass like 400 450. Like she regularly trashed the dudes, or they regularly trashed the dudes.
And that's the other thing, everybody in sports has been talking about how men are stronger than women, and it's proof because of blah blah blah. Well, in CrossFit, women have been beating men in open competition.
Yeah,
it's been happening quite a bit,
and it always has. Like,
but I feel the same way about the equipment and the belts at this point. I mean, I've pulled over 600 with no belt, with just chalk and shorts and a t-shirt on camera this year. I mean, I'm like,
there you go, nice. That's what I'm talking about, dude.
Yeah, well, that's real lifting. I mean, the most I pulled is with a belt. I mean, I'm 30 pounds less without the belt, but I've still hit over 600. Yeah, with no belt and just on a stiff bar, not even a deadlift bar, just chalk, shorts and a
amazed,
t-shirt.
dude. You could pull 500 with no warm up.
Yeah.
Easy as
I did it my last powerlifting meet. I didn't warm up. Because I was busy chatting with Charles Vogel, and I just went out and pulled my opener at 508 and then hit a state record next. So my warm up rep was my opener. It was
there you go.
It was 230 kilos. So
you don't
I
really
warmed
have to warm up
for
a deadlift. It's just pick it up.
But that's what I did. I don't need to warm up I don't warm up for deadlifts. I mean, if I do, it'll be 400 pounds for a rep, and then I'll start adding weight.
Well, I just do high pulls.
Yeah.
Stiff leg high pulls. I like stiff legged high pulls. They're fun.
I can walk in cold and do 500. Yeah, I can walk in cold and deadlift 500 anytime. It's not an issue. I've done it. So yeah, you don't need to warm up much. Well, the deadlift's a low skill lift anyways, and all power lifts are. That's kind of the point. That's why it was supposed to be a test of strength, because there's not much skill involved.
And that's where strongman completely went wrong, because it used to be a test of strength because it was a grab bag of lifts. Yeah. And you just kind of showed up and found out what it was when you got there.
You couldn't.
Now you find out the events months in advance, so you technically prepare and you wear all this gear and do all this stupid shit. It's ridiculous.
I had another coach call me out on deadlifting, and he's like, well, I've done 600 for 10 reps. And I'm like, at an event, but it's all bounce and go. He was wearing a multiply suit, figure 8 straps. And I'm like, shit. I mean, I'm sorry, man. Take all that off. Pull 600 without any of that, for one. It was ridiculous. And he's got a big channel, and he called me out and shit. And I'm like, he's like 10 years younger than me, 50 pounds heavier, but he's wearing all that equipment while doing it. And I'm like, what in the fuck are you even talking about? Can you even deadlift 600?
I'm trying to remember what my max deadlift was.
How about, can you just hold a weight? Just take a 20-pound weight and just hold it like this, and then go like that, and then go like this, and then go like that. Do that. I want to see one fucking power lifter do that, because you know what I've been doing for the last few months is trying shit like that. Yeah. And it's fucking hard, and you have to practice it.
You're gonna have to have some strong belts for that too.
Yeah, but it's also, we have fucked up our shoulders from benching with an arch. Yeah, that's why everybody's
the pullovers have been helping. Like, doing the pullovers has been phenomenal for me.
There you go, nice.
I mean, it's not perfect. It's not everything's not where I want it yet.
No, it's coming. But I mean, you've just started doing them
a few months ago, but it's like I couldn't do pull-ups pain-free. Now I'm doing sets of 12, 13 between all my bench sets.
That's what I'm.
So every set of bench press, I do a set of pull-ups right after. And I just
shoot. There you go, nice.
And now I'm up to doing 12,
the pull-ups are an amazing stretch for your.
Absolutely.
Especially behind the neck pull-ups. I love that shit.
I can't quite do those.
Oh, you'll get there, dude. They feel so good.
I remember when I used to be able to do behind the neck push presses, and it's like my shoulders are not able to do that anymore. Like, even with an empty bar, but maybe one day,
Yeah. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if I'm going to do them again, because unless I have blocks that I can drop onto in front.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I'm going to do very slow and controlled, not push presses, but just behind the neck cloak-offs, because I fucked up my neck dropping the bar behind my neck. And yeah, it looked cool on camera, but my God, I fucked myself up. So
yeah.
She knows. She's been literally kicking the fucking knots off my back with her feet.
Right. Well, but yeah, I'd love to get my mobility back there. I'm just happy to be able to do pull-ups again, because my goal now is to get to 3 sets of 20 on my dead hang pull-ups. So that's my next goal for that.
Your next goal is what now?
My next goal for that, I want to be able to do 3 sets of 20. So I want to be able to knock out after every set of bench. I want to be able to do 20 dead hang pull-ups. I'm up to 13 so far. So the goal is to get those to 20.
That's good shit, dude.
As I'm continuing to cut down, because I think I'm going to go down to 200. I'm at 215, so I'm just going to keep trending down.
Nice.
Strip the body fat off. But I think by then I should be able to do sets of 20 pretty easy. But yeah, I mean, I went from a few months ago, because my shoulders were so fucked up, I couldn't even do one pull-up without excruciating pain.
I remember you telling me, yeah.
And now that's where they are. But
dude, I'm so glad your shoulders are feeling better.
They feel amazing. Like I was saying with the pullovers, I started feeling stuff.
Have you noticed you can take way deeper breaths?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
My middle
I sleep better, I breathe better, everything's better.
Yeah, right in my whole lower trap area, it feels completely different. Just I've noticed even sometimes when I'm walking, I'm grocery shopping or whatever, pushing my grocery cart, it's just like all of that's just It's like, oh my God, I can move it.
It moves. Yeah, I didn't even know that could move. But yeah, you're doing this like, ooh, look at me.
Wow, you guys do
Yeah.
a bunch of exercises that make sure that you can't breathe and can't move.
Exactly. That
Motherfuckers
arched
make
bench
fun
fucking destroyed everybody's
of
bodies.
Yeah.
It
a
was all that saggy
sport
titty shit. I've been going
that
crazy
gives
trying to fix it.
heavier lifts, better posture, and you fuck more.
Yeah,
Like, good Lord.
that's
I'm just gonna say in the
it's a stupid
nicest
fucking
way,
sport.
powerlifting needs to get a sense of humor.
It needs to just go
Taking
away.
itself far
It just
too
needs to go
seriously.
away. It's stupid. It's useless.
No, because what's going to happen is is that there's always pendulum swings and shit.
No, this is exactly like when kids in school study for the test. It's exactly the same shit. Like for those standardized tests, rather than like actually filling the kids' heads with knowledge, you're just making them memorize these disconnected facts so they don't actually learn anything.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking problem. And that's what happens with powerlifting.
No,
People have dropped out all these amazing lifts, all the overhead laterals, laterals to the front, just holding dumbbells here and then moving them overhead. Like nobody does that shit.
Right.
Jesus Christ. Why don't you guys do fucking like power cleans and shit where you actually catch it in the right position and you're not supported?
Because we lack the wrist flexibility.
We lack the flexibility.
I've been doing this shit for months and months and months. I can finally get my elbows together all the way down and like I can do all this, but like I still can't. I still don't have the wrist flexibility that I need for the rack.
Yeah, I'm not quite there.
I'm working to it.
I'd love to be able to do cleans again. So that, because I did them when I was younger. Because when I first started out, the only 3 lifts I was taught, because my cousin taught me to lift over in a football gym, and it was like I did squat, bench, and cleans.
Yeah, because they were on that Bill Starr type time where they were just like, yeah.
So that's how I started.
The strongest shall survive. It was a football training book, and power cleans are all you need for arms. You don't need to do curls and
Right.
Why the fuck would you not do curls? Like Herschel Walker was not Herschel Walker, Bo Jackson, one of the greatest fucking football players to ever live. He barely lifted. Most of what he did was curls.
Curl is you getting your elbow under the bar. If you do a power clean properly, that's the curl. You don't actually have to fucking do one. You just
nobody
have to
does
do a
power cleans properly.
Yeah.
Power cleans are done the same way I do, or I don't have the wrist flexibility. So I had to hold the bar straight up and down like this and then press it from there, which meant I never got over 335 because I had to reverse curl it and then basically just hold it here in this weird reverse curl position because I still can't get my arms in that rack.
Yeah.
It's a bitch. It's a bitch.
Mine's getting better.
I'm working on it.
And my issue is being too bendy and fucking half numb.
My dad just never stretched. I guess his dad never stretched. And like they taught me he basically taught me not to stretch. And every injury I got just made me less flexible.
Well, I mean, I'm also supernaturally bendy.
Yeah.
So.
And you're a woman, so you have relaxin in your blood every month.
Yeah. Which just makes me, at that point in time, I can basically put my elbows on the ground.
Have you figured out
and
a way
I don't
to
work out anymore?
Or do you plan meets for your female clients? Do you plan meets around their cycle at all? Because I know that it causes huge issues with their.
No, I haven't had to. That's something I discuss off camera because I don't want to go into one of my clients' medical stuff.
I wasn't asking
you.
No.
Well,
name any people. Good Lord.
And I'm actually gonna say this. As a female.
I'm talking in general. I think that it's a necessary thing to think about. Like
because it is very you'll get stuff popping like the worst, like, oh my God, feeling I've ever had was doing a power clean and popping my fucking pelvis.
Yeah, because that relaxing in your body is
and it was
causing your pelvis to relax specifically.
It was perfect form, everything like that.
Did you shit
and
your
I
pants?
was on no, and I was on hormonal birth control to control because I have a couple autoimmune diseases. So I was on hormonal birth control to sort of regulate them, but you still get the release of relaxin. And let me tell you, it was like the world's most uncomfortable fart. It's literally the only way I can describe to a dude what it felt like. But I described it to a couple of female CrossFit friends, and they were like, "Oh my God, I thought I was the only person that's ever happened to." It's the weirdest fucking feeling.
Yeah. Well, a lot of my girls will pick their own meets anyway, so I'm not picking their meets and stuff. They're picking their meet times, and then I just get them.
Oh,
ready. I don't
recommended that or anything like that. It was just something that came up.
Yeah, it has to be factored.
I don't really have a lot of female clients, but
and I think
when I do, I recommend that they, try to plan it so that it's, if when your regular time of the month is, 2 weeks is what I would say. 2 weeks after that, kind of in the interim.
Yeah, watch anything that's going to be really bendy on the joints.
Yeah. Around your period.
And on top of that, it affects weight class too.
Because I don't know if doctors understand it. I never was able to figure it out.
Doctors don't understand anything about women.
Yeah, water. Yeah, they just hear me monsters. That's you guys.
Yeah.
They're like they have little brains and they just want drugs all the time. It's weird. Just keep it moving.
Yeah. The pain's not real. It's all in your head. Yeah, okay.
And by the time females actually get through medical school with all the harassment and shit they have to deal with and become doctors, they're so hulked up on it. They're like, yeah, it was probably all bullshit anyway. I toughed it out this far. It's probably bullshit. And then they don't even research it anymore because they're too busy being badasses. So that's
well, except for Corbett.
Well, no, she's just a drunken fucking mess. So, because Alabama destroys your soul. Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. But I let them kind of pick that, I let them pick that stuff anyways, because I'm not assigning their meets. They tell me, hey, I want to do this meet, this meet, this meet. And I just get them ready. But I don't change their training that much for meet prep. Either we're strong or we're not.
Even for specific sports, people always were like, well, what do I need to do for sports specific stuff? Nothing. Nobody ever did that shit ever before now. It's not necessary. It's ridiculous. And it's just gimmicks that people invent in order to make themselves saleable. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even change Michelle's training. And so Michelle comes from a real athletic background. She's been lifting for 3 years and I just qualified her for Worlds this couple weeks ago. And she's drug free, and she qualified for untested Worlds.
With your fist in the air, drug free.
But she's only been working out 3 years. She's only touched a weight 3 years ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she did boxing.
I've been
she did years and years
year altogether for months and months. I don't know, most of this year, all of this year. I haven't bought gear since last summer. So.
And the funniest thing is, your skin looks healthier, and you kind of look younger in a way. You had a whole rugged,
it's getting that Clint Eastwood jaw.
Yeah, you're getting that Clint Eastwood jaw going, which is probably why everybody thought you were a cop.
People don't think I'm a cop anymore. Oh, thank God. Oh, my God. I had this experience yesterday where these two guys at the train station, because I went to go get weed, and they were just having a tough time, and the machine wouldn't give me a ticket, and then my change all of a sudden popped out, and the guy had asked me for a dime previously, and I was like, I'd literally just put all my money into that. I'm sorry. And then all the money came out, and I was like, well, shit, it won't give me a ticket, and I just scooped it up and I gave it to this guy, and he and his friend went crazy, and I was like, well, fuck, here's another $5, because I got $5 I can spare. I'm not built for more, but here's $5. These guys were I gave one of them a hug. They were just having a fucking rough time. But at the end, he gave me one of those 2 long hugs where you don't expect it to be that long, and then he really needed a hug, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna hang in here, and rubbed his back. I've never seen these people before in my life. But at the end, he was saying thank you again and goodbye, and I was like, yo, thank you all for being so cool. I know I look like the cops, and they was like, yo, you don't look like no cop, and I was like, oh, fuck yes.
Right. I'm like that. I'm a hugger though too. It's Well, I was hanging out with some bros at a barbecue last night, and
You definitely look like a cop.
Yeah, I do. I get accused of
No,
that.
you actually, you look like you look like you are in the U.S. Army, but you're very low ranking, like an E1 or an E2.
But he's the cool.
He's at the mall.
Yeah,
he's at the
but
mall.
He's the cool one. Like
Yep.
He's the one that like he tries to be good. Like so, I used to bartend at a military bar. I was there for like a year and a half, and it was during Iraqi freedom and all those. So I had a lot of people come and go because it's a joint base, and you look like probably, I'm gonna say conservatively, because we weren't the only bar in town, so there was a split on demographics. You were conservatively probably 75% of the dudes I fucking served for a year and a half.
He looks like every white guy at the mall and outside of Fort Benning, Georgia. Whatever mall that is. I don't remember what mall that is. I've been there a couple of times somehow, and I guess driving from South Carolina to Alabama or something.
We're gonna have a private fashion consultation.
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck I was going, but somehow I had to drive through Georgia.
Because, dude, seriously, like.
But people do accuse me.
Oh, going to Ohio on 77, I think. Yeah.
I went to college for fashion design, bro. You are offensive.
Every single white man at the mall outside of any army base or the PX or the babe, you definitely have a demo. There's a demo.
Babe,
take that shirt off and burn it.
I covered it when I said you look like probably 75 to 85% of the guys that came through the bar that I
look how fast this motherfucker made me regret mocking him for being on here with no shirt. Look how fast it was. It's crazy, and I appreciate the effort, but
there we go.
You know, it's a swing and a miss sometimes. Sometimes you don't get them all right.
You know what? Jamie, next time.
By the way, that color though.
Change the other shirt.
We'll put this one on with the
that color.
Can you please model that one for us, please? You don't have to change on camera if you don't want to, but please model that one for us. Please try it on. Put it on.
I've got me in. I'm playing my guitar on Instagram in it.
Oh God.
Oh, please do. Please.
I do. It's on there right now.
Please do.
Yeah. So talking about undiagnosed mental illness, what is this shit that I hear? That you post shit of you doing shit badly just to get roasted?
What? I don't think I do that.
Oh, well, apparently that's what the internet says.
Oh, well, the internet says all sorts of crazy shit about me.
I think on the next episode of this, we ought to talk, because we were talking earlier about the different gradations of cerebral palsy. We ought to talk about the different gradations of autism and what level he is on compared to what level we're on.
Dude, I'm practically like, I'm not even gonna say shit.
Yeah, she's a borderline Star Trek fan, so it's a dicey. I'm a
Star Wars fan.
Yeah, but
go fuck yourself.
You
go fuck yourself.
Oh man, now she's into Star Wars and you accuse her of being a Trekkie. That could be a problem.
We're a dirty space. We're a dirty space house in here.
Yeah.
Oh, have you ever seen the TV show Vagrant Queen?
No. What is that about?
Sci-fi.
It was on Sci-Fi.
I'm a big sci-fi fan. So.
It's on Tubi now. It's free and it's phenomenal. It was only like one season and it got canceled, but it was a dirty space show with a female protagonist. Everything was kind of like.
Hold on, I gotta write this down. I'm gonna write this down. What's it called?
Vagrant Queen.
All right, hold on.
We had to give that a rewatch. We got to go get some food.
Okay. All right, I've made a note of that. Yeah, I haven't eaten yet either because I was out late at a barbecue and ate a bunch of steak, tons of steak last night. So I haven't even eaten yet today. I'm not hungry, so I'll need to do breakfast after this. So, yeah. I've
come to the realization that we really have been eating way too fucking much, and so I'm kind of trying to see how little I can eat and get away with it. I
just don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's one of those things because I have been overeating, force feeding myself for so long. I'm sick of food mostly. You know what I mean? And I'm sick of fucking cooking all the time. So
With the amount of protein I eat, I don't even get hungry anymore. Like,
yeah. And I got to the point where I was just drinking protein shakes, and that's fucking ridiculous. So now I'm just drinking protein shakes, eating rice.
Nice.
That's because we're both too lazy to use the bean mix we have.
Yeah.
Because it requires soaking and all that shit. We don't have a pressure cooker anymore.
Oh, no.
I broke it because it fell on my head.
Because I had it stored above the refrigerator, like on top of the refrigerator. And Jamie is so strong that when he opens the refrigerator door, he moves the physical refrigerator.
Nice.
So as he's closing
I yanked it forward to me. I didn't realize I did this, but I yanked it forward to me when I would open the refrigerator because I would yank so hard because power lifter, just yank it. And so
I'm always, I touch everything delicately, it's intentionally.
Yeah. Well, now I just I didn't have the flexibility to touch things delicately. It was either grab it or don't grab it.
You don't have the spatial awareness to be able to touch things delicately.
It's getting better.
You're still well, I'd say in a China shop, but that was disproven by the Mythbusters.
Okay.
So you have, at least now though, he's not like pulling fucking pictures off walls because he's actually,
I don't waddle anymore.
Yeah. And our house is so narrow that
we live in a 105-year-old house, or no, it's older than that.
Yeah, it's like 115, something like that. So like
they were little people.
Yeah. And he was
our hallways
so
are
wide,
really narrow.
and he had so little spatial awareness that he would just like knock photos off the wall.
And there's photos on both sides all the way down the wall. So I'm just like knocking window shit. Especially when I was like 220, it was just like bing, bing, bing off the walls because I was waddling off. So shit was just constantly falling off the walls and breaking. It was a fucking disaster. It was, and I know that sounds like a cartoon, but I am pretty much
I can see it there. Yeah.
An actual cartoon, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no, you don't look like a cartoon anymore.
No, I did. I looked like Mr. Incredible because my shoulders were up here all the time.
Yeah, I remember.
It's very
you
fun.
Looked like when you were at your biggest because all the pictures and stuff up there. So yeah.
All right, so have we done this thing? Shall we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Somebody wanted to know, they had a question about how to make friends in their 40s without looking like a goof. And they asked one of us about it. And so I did want to touch on this because my podcasting co-host and I were talking about it. I used to listen to her podcast for research on like old school diets in America. And so I really respected her, and I tentatively reached out to her because I don't get taken seriously by historians because of the way I look.
Right.
And so she took and I didn't really think about it from her perspective, how much of a person that she should avoid I looked like. But like, with all the tattoos and because I have a shaved head and I'm white and I lift weights and I only listen to metal and this and that, like I looked like exactly the type of person that a woman should avoid at all costs. And because I'm probably a biker and probably a rapist and like I take a lot of meth. But like there are so many pejorative things that come with the appearance that I had. And so, but she took a chance and we struck up this friendship. I think like a week after I messaged her, we ended up meeting her down in Trenton because she and her sister were coming to Trenton anyway to go see some historical site. And we hit it off. I mean, we immediately became best of friends. And so I think that part of making friends as an adult is reaching out to people that you have mutual interests with, that you respect, and you have a reason to talk to them. It's not, hey, it's not, I'm just trying to make friends. It's like there's something in them that you feel like you two will connect on. And I think that my theory is that autistic people, unlike normal people, have interests before we have friends. So they have friends and then they develop these communal interests, and then they have communal interests that don't really necessarily blend with their own, but they've never really developed these like personal interests. Whereas we get so focused on things that we get deep into our interests, and then we look for other people who are into our interests, because that is a sensible fucking way to introduce yourself to another person. Is, I know a lot of things. This is what we all did as kids. I know everything there is to know about this thing. Let me tell you all the things. And because you know about it too. And then you're just yelling facts at each other. And that's how you became friends as a kid, basically, for us. So, like, that's, yeah. And it's, and then you
most
think
of my
like
friends
a
have been
week to settle down before people stop yelling facts at each other.
Yeah.
But also, my wife and I found that if you're having a hard time in life, or you just want to meet friends, or both, often those things come at both. Doing charitable work is the way to meet. That's how I met my wife. Was we were through charitable work for hurricane relief in the Caribbean. We made lots of friends doing this very loosely organized kind of socialist food distribution thing where we'd all smoke weed, and it was kind of people from the neighborhood and the place where I ended up working, Weed Man, and we'd distribute food from Weed Man to these homeless people, or not homeless, but they lived in motels. And I don't know if you've ever been broke enough to live in a motel. It is just the half step above being homeless. It's awful. I've been there. My wife's been there. It's horrendous, and it's really expensive to live in those places. So it's really hard to get out of them. And so you end up living on canned food and shit. And like, so we would come through, we would give them canned food, we would give them fresh food from Weed Man. And we made friends from that were really fun. And yeah, charity really is like, and
I agree, because you either need mutual interest or you need some setting that puts you into where you're involved with other people. And that puts you into a community type setting where you are then engaging and involved in other people. And that's a great way to meet friends.
Exactly.
I mean, because otherwise it's back to your interests. So like even the people I hung out with last night as one of my best bros, I met him in high school, my first day at a new school, because I walked in the library and they were playing Magic the Gathering. And I walked over and asked them if they played Dungeons and Dragons too. I'm like, well, yeah, I run D&D games. And so, we just had a barbecue at his house. Almost 30 years later,
Yeah, that's
awesome. And then, they're extended friends. So, we were hanging out last night doing that. But I mean, I've known him. That's how I met the guy whose house we were at.
What were you playing yesterday? D&D or Magic?
No. We played D&D together originally, all in high school.
Oh, okay.
So that circle of friends. But
do you still play?
Not lately. I haven't had the time. I ran a game while I was in the UK for a while.
Oh, cool.
So I did run a D&D game then, but that's been like 9 years. So about 8 or 9 years since I've done it. But yeah. So I did that a lot. But and none of those guys play that anymore either. But it doesn't matter because you still have friendships from that.
There you go.
They've stuck out. So now we were just hanging out, grilling meat, and
That's another. By the way, gaming shops are a really fun way to meet people. Yeah. I did that in Pittsburgh. Absolutely. I used to get drunk and go play HeroClix.
Well, it was funny. I met people gaming the same way at a gaming shop because I was lifting back then and pretty big. And I walked into a gaming shop with this same circle of friends many years ago, and everyone stopped and looked at me. And then I go, I just wanted to look like my D&D character. And then everybody was cool. It was hilarious. Like they all.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, something else that in order to meet
friends. Ooh, shameless plug. I just put out an ebook called Main Character Swole that is exactly for that reason. Nice. And it's all these different people that we actually look up to rather than weirdo fucking bodybuilders. But Charles Bronson from the movies, who was the highest paid actor in the earliest 70s. He was the Arnold before Arnold. He always fucking ripped. And he didn't even get big in Hollywood until his mid to late 40s. So in his 50s, he was fucking the hottest model on planet Earth. And he looked like a god walking down the street next to this woman. I mean, he was so hot, that craggy faced mess of a man, so hot that the hottest model in the world looked like she was lucky to be walking next to this motherfucker. Right. Plus, he was like a war hero and all kinds of shit. So people like that are in this book, because these are the people we want to follow. Dudes who beat, like Bill Smith, who beat Arnold in an arm wrestling match on the set of Conan. He was Conan's dad in that movie. And then Arnold never put him in another movie after that because he was humiliated by Bill Smith. But we've seen he was like also a gay icon because he was always getting shirtless and tied up on cowboy movies or TV shows like Laredo.
Right.
So yeah, but all of them are in this book. So you can go to my Instagram, Plague of Strength, and get it. It's awesome. $35.
Awesome. Yeah, and it ties into that perfect. That's beautiful.
Yeah, 177 pages.
Because I got a bunch of gamers into lifting. So because of my D&D group, and I was pretty serious into lifting, some of them were like, well, hey, can you teach me how to work out? But so a bunch of fat gaming nerds started getting into shape.
Exactly. So this book is perfect because it's like, well, I want to look like Chris Hemsworth. He's in the fucking book. There's his Thor workout. There's his this workout. There's his that workout. Oh yeah, I hooked it up.
Absolutely. See, and that's great. But back to that other thing too. Yeah, I mean, just community activities in general. If you struggle to make friends and meet new people, like they said in their 40s, community activities of any type are great, whether it's charity or something else in the community, because then now you're interacting with people doing something positive. And if anyone's doing anything like that related, they're trying to be positive. They're trying to do something helpful, something good. And then you're going to meet people who want to, at the very least, be good people.
And
that's sorely lacking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you're presenting yourself to the world, think about presenting yourself as somebody who looks like somebody you want to be friends with, not somebody you want to be scared of. You don't want to look tough. You want to look. I mean, if you lift weights, you already should look tough.
Yeah.
So you just
don't need anything
look
further.
like a person that people would like to know. That's the thing. So you want to walk like a person people want to know, talk like one.
Somebody that people want to know. Like you can't inflict your whatever on people. Like there has to be people have to understand relationships are a give and take. Mm-hmm. Relationships are friendships, whatever. You have to actually put effort into it.
Yep.
And you can't just pop up when you need something. Suddenly I just remembered that I'm friends with so-and-so.
Right.
Obviously, this is we have this person who I've been trying to get out of her life forever.
No, it's not even. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. It just sort of has to do in general.
Gotcha.
It gets back to me laughing and being like, why the fuck would you want to do powerlifting when it's isolating, when you can do CrossFit, get the same better results, and have a whole bunch of friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, CrossFit's very social.
Yeah.
And it's scary as fuck. I will say that for my part, every time I go into a new place where I don't know the people or whatever, I don't say anything about it. I never talk about it, but it's scary as a motherfucker. Especially going into a new gym back in the day. Oh my God. And I still feel like I got to put on a fucking clinic every time I go into a new gym, even if I'm just popping in there for 15 minutes. I'm going to do 15 minutes of fucking pull-ups and dips so everybody knows that Jack LaLanne that they never fucking knew about came through. You know what I mean? But it's all stupid pressure we put on ourselves. So
whereas CrossFit, you just roll in and it's a chance to add a fucking t-shirt to your collection, and you're on vacation. So if you're going half fucking speed and everybody's like, good job coming when you're on vacation.
Yeah, I was saying I was too much. I was doing too much.
Yeah, none of that sounds fun to me.
I was doing too much for no reason.
Quite frankly, no. Yeah.
But we probably should wind it down. We're well past an hour recorded here, so
all right,
a good time to go ahead and wind it down. So you guys check out Jamie's ebook that he just plugged.
Yes,
because I link all your stuff under this anyways, and so yeah, awesome. You guys check it out if you want to be look like your D&D character.
Exactly. That I mean, it's still so. All these people, they're not just because we've all kind of gotten into this idea that I know, but that it's all about the go and not about the show. And so these people aren't Ziz. These people are show and go put together. Ziz is kind of a dated example, but still, it's all about show and go.
There we go.
All right.
So there we go. Take care, and we will talk to you guys and gals next time.
Yes.
All right. So let me
later
recording.